welcome back to another episode of Mastering Maize and Blue. I'm Kayla Leonard, and I'm joined today by Vivian Clements, and we will be talking about the Center for Social Justice and Inclusion. To start off, a little bit about us. My name is Kayla Leonard. I'm a senior majoring in biochemistry. I'm involved in the Pride Student Organization, First Generation Student Organization, Talent Gateway, and a little fun fact is my favorite drink is Arizona green tea.
Hey guys, my name is Vivian Clements, as already said earlier. I'm a criminal justice major. I am involved with being an orientation leader and possibly Greek life in the fall. And my favorite drink, which I know is childish, but it has to be chocolate milk.
All right, so good day. My name is Sharia Carter. I am the director of the Center for Social Justice and Inclusion. I have been on campus for almost 15 years and about a week, so that's exciting. And I'm gonna go along with it. My favorite drink is absolutely hot chocolate. I love hot chocolate. So glad to be here. Glad to chat with you all and just share some information. So I'll turn it back over to you.
I'm sorry. I was thinking about hot chocolate from like Tim Hortons, you know. It's absolutely my favorite. But to kick off with the questions, I wanted to ask, what is your favorite part about U of M Dearborn?
For sure, it is the students. I love meeting the new students as they come on campus as often freshmen or maybe new transfers, and just being able to watch their progression as they matriculate is pretty awesome. They come in and they may have questions, and you just see their progress over the years and them getting involved and them using their voice, and it's pretty exciting, just to watch the growth of students, them learning who they are. I think that's pretty awesome to watch. And I have amazing colleagues too, so I can't discount that. I do have amazing colleagues who do make coming to work quite enjoyable, so that's a good thing.
Yes, I totally agree with that. Especially now that I kind of have like a staff point of view too, being an orientation leader. We kind of get like the background view of like how students come in and then you see them grow. And I think that's a really good answer. But moving on to the next question, how would you describe campus and the community?
Very supportive. I think about our student population, and they are often, they come from so many intersectional identities and just all those different things that they bring to the campus that make them their whole selves. And I just think we try our best to support the whole student, right? So whether it's they're having financial difficulty, mental health difficulty, classroom difficulty, like there's always something supportive on campus to help students to be their best selves. And I think that's key, right? I always tell students, we were in a meeting last night with some new leadership for a student org, and I said, as we're thinking about programming and all the fun stuff, we love students, but we also want you to graduate, right? And so how do we, help facilitate that as well? We adore you all, but got to keep the train moving. And so what does that support look like from the classroom? Is it helping you connect with a tutor, helping you connect with someone from the Office of Financial Aid to make sure that you can continue to pay for school? Is it ensuring that you get an internship, an externship, work study? How do we support you in your journey? And I think that's critical for our campus, and I think we do it very well.
That's honestly really reassuring to hear, just because I haven't been on campus yet. I've been here for a year, but I transferred during COVID. So it's really nice to hear about the community and how supportive everything is. I heard about the resources online, but I'm really excited to be in person and feel that sense of community that I've been missing in college. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was just awesome. I'm so excited. So to kick off the next question, what are some of your main responsibilities for CSJI?
So as the director, I sort of, manage the day to day. I currently have 2 staff members under the Center for Social Justice and Inclusion, and one deals with race, ethnicity, multicultural, intercultural, and intersectional identities, and another team member deals with LGBTQIA plus. And so a lot of my job is supporting them and as they support students as well. I do it too, but I'm their support system. I'm their sounding board. I'm their safe and sacred place as well. So, and then you still have the nuances of running an office, right? You have to make sure your budget is where it needs to be. You are dotting I's and crossing T's, and so a lot of the administrative tasks do tend to fall on me as well. But so those are some of my main responsibilities for CSJI. Then I'm going to switch hats just a little bit because I'm going to do a shameless plug for that I'm really excited about. As a campus, we received the Department of Justice grant. It's a 3-year grant and it's the grant to reduce campus stalking, sexual assault, dating violence. And so I supervise that person that's in that role. And so we were awarded the grant. Late summer, fall of 2020. And so that's really exciting. And so I'm excited about just what's going to happen with that particular grant. And like I said, so I also navigate that aspect of the grant as well. So I'm the principal investigator as well as the supervisor and all that good stuff. So just had to throw that in.
No, it's okay to shameless plug. We're into it.
That's for sure.
That's like really nice information to know and everything, because I would want to be more involved with campus with certain stuff like this. So it's really nice to learn about it and hearing all the exciting things that you are going to be doing.
Yeah, and I tend to sit on a lot of committees and things of that nature. Oftentimes it's a little easier for me to go to the table because then I know what's in my office. So I know, okay, is this more of is this Gigi's work? Is this Gerard's work? Like, how do who do I kind of task to do this or help? Who can help support this initiative? So that's always a good thing too. So I'll often sit at the table and then kind of figure out who on my team sort of needs to be pulled in. How do they need to be pulled in? How does the CSJI fit into this whole process? So that's kind of a good thing too, as part of my responsibilities, right? Being at the table.
Yes, absolutely. So you do wear many hats, but another one of our questions kind of falls under that. What is your favorite part of your job?
My favorite part, again, I'm probably going to have to go back to students. And what I think I enjoy most is watching students program. I really enjoy watching students take, their idea, their thoughts, because again, you all know what you want to see on campus. You know what programs you want, events, all that good stuff. Yes, some things are sort of our signature things that will happen year after year. But when a student brings a fresh idea and you kind of see it play out, I think that's pretty awesome because they are building such a skill set that's invaluable, right? Going from pen and paper to conceptualization, that's pretty awesome. And I just think that's a skill set that you can carry no matter what field you go into, how to plan an event, a program, how to communicate with people, how to follow up, all that good stuff.
Honestly, event planning is one of my favorite things to do. So I'm really excited to see some of the different events and things that are going to be on campus this fall. I have been reading the emails that Amy Finley has been sending out. So I am super excited. I hope to be one of those students that plans something for campus one day.
All right. Well, again, if you have an idea, come and see me.
You already know I got your contact. So I wanted to ask you this just because, I know that you can see what's on the website and everything, but we wanted to know, what is the mission or purpose of the Center of Social Justice and Inclusion?
Absolutely. So again, I could read what it is, but in theory, the goal of our office is really to build that community and sense of belonging. We know that marginalized students are a part of our student population, and we want people to have a touch point. We want someone to either look like them or can relate to them in some shape, form, or fashion, and who can really help navigate and really say, you know what, I remember when, or I've been in that place, I've been in that position, let me help you. We really know that often students may or may not have the support that they need at home, or just in other places. And we want to ensure that we are that support. We want to ensure that we are that touch point. You know, when they come on campus, they know this is where I get the feels, right? This is where I've got a cheerleader. I also have someone that's going to tell me like it is, and, you know, set me on the right path too. And so I think that's just really critical for the work that we do, and understanding that a student may come in presenting with one issue, and as they get to know us and as they warm up to us, we may identify 2 or 3 other issues, right? And so ensuring that my team is well versed again in the campus supports and even other community supports, because what we do know is that not all, you know, our students live in a variation of communities and areas within Metro Detroit. And so being able to say, hey, you know what, here's a touch point in Western Wayne County, here's a touch point in the city of Detroit, here's a touch point in Washtenaw, Macomb County, being able to articulate those needs to a student, we always want to just really be like that landing place for students. And so I think that is really critical for the work that we do. And really that's our mission and our purpose, right? Is to ensure that students feel a sense of community and that sense of belonging in some shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah, and I feel like it's super important to have that space when you come to a place like college, especially where, you know, you choose to go somewhere, and especially in education, if you don't feel supported, you're not going to be successful. So having a place like CSJI, it's super important for people who may not have those resources otherwise. So yeah.
Absolutely. And, you know, and again, and we may be the first place you go to, and then we may say, you know what, this is more of a CAPS thing, or, you know what, let's connect you with disability services. Let's get you where you need to be. Because I mean, some students may not, you know, I think we get inundated with like information in the beginning, and you're not always sure, like, okay, oh, I forgot that it does exist. This is over here. Tutoring is over here. The math lab, you know, the foreign language lab, and just all these other tutoring. And so we can help make those connections. And I think that that's really critical.
Yeah, I'm actually super glad you brought those up, because our next question kind of ties into that. What resources are students able to utilize from CSJI?
So, you know, again, I think this is a twofold question, right? Because pre-pandemic, you know, students could really come into our office and sort of hang out. We have a sort of like a little meeting room that has like an elongated table where students could essentially have meetings. We also have a library that has tons of books that students can utilize. We had board games, you know, just different things. And then on another end, their students could use computers. You know, we had a fax machine. So anything that really students needed, we could assist. But I think coming back into the fold as we lift this veil of COVID, and, you know, we're all slowly coming back, you know, resources may look a little different, and we're going to have to figure out what those things look like and how we do provide resources. You know, when I think about a resource, it may be sending a student an email, or ensuring that we can meet with folks on Zoom or via phone, however students feel most comfortable to get the resources. But again, making those connections to outside resources, campus resources, we're sort of going to help students orchestrate that, and again, be that touch point. They can always come back in and follow up. And, you know, again, just being that first touch point, because they may say, oh, well, I met somebody, I know this person runs Pride, or this person runs BSU, and this is kind of how I'm getting to know them. But now we're learning that this person needs a tutor, and, you know, so we're just going to help keep connecting the dots. So when I think about resources that students are able to utilize, that's us. And again, we're always going to we're going to figure it out, because if we don't have it in our office, either we're going to get it or we're going to figure out who already has it and direct that student there.
That is just like so reassuring to know, like, especially like when I remember when I was a college freshman, I felt completely lost and trying to find like certain things, like when you talked about like tutoring and like writing center and like just getting people from A to B and helping them out. That is just so awesome. Like I'm excited to be more involved with you just because that system is just so nice. Like it's just so reassuring and like comforting to know, like if you need like a place to go to like kind of like cool down and like collect yourself and like especially like for people like when it comes to like being like finals time or something like that. Like I know that I get stressed during finals. I feel like a lot of people do. So like having like a resource place to like go and like find something that could help me with like my education and moving forward and growing with like my school career, that's just really awesome to know that like I can
Absolutely.
come here.
That's what we're here to do. You know, we are here to help navigate. You know, we want our students to succeed and be their best selves, even, you know, personally and professionally, right? Like, you know, you really want that, a healthy dose of both, you know. So that's
No,
important.
yeah, I completely understand. I love your message and I'm sure many other students will love your message too, which is why I'm going to throw it to the next question for how can students get involved with CSJI?
Yeah, so we are, you know, again, we're coming out of the pandemic, right? So they can definitely, you know, email me, they can email, we have a center email as well, social justice inclusion at umich.edu. So there are going to be different touch points. Once we're back on campus, obviously popping in is going to be, you know, the best way to get a hold of us. And I just think, you know, one of the things I'm charging my staff to do is to, how do we leverage more student organizations and more partnerships? We have some standing things, again, like I have a team member who works very closely with Pride, and I have another team member who works very closely with the Black Student Union. But how do we reach out to other student organizations and other touch points that go beyond that? Because that's really what our office is about too. It's not just those two things, right? When we think about intercultural and again, those intersectional identities, that's what we're here for. So we're excited to partner with, again, other student orgs, thinking about other programmatic ideas. You may think of something and say, you know what, the best partner is probably CSJI. Let's go run this by someone from their office. My team, you know, if you pitch it to the team member, they're going to, you know, pitch it to me. And we're going to just figure out how to make it work, because in theory, we can say, this is great. Oh, and let's include another student group. Or, you know what, have we talked to this particular academic department? They may be an amazing resource to add to this. So again, we're always going to be figuring it out and thinking about it. And so I think that's how students can get involved with other student orgs. And again, just looking through partnerships and just trying to, you know, work together in any shape, form, or fashion about educating people, because that's key too, right? You know, educating folks on race, culture, LGBTQ identities, all of that, gender inequities, you know what I mean? That's our job, is to help educate, help, again, build people to be their best personal and professional selves. So.
Yes, absolutely. And I love how you started out with, you know, popping in, especially because COVID has been so long, it feels like it's been so long since we've been on campus. And so to hear people like finally going back to saying, you know, like come in person, like come see us, like actually in office. It's so refreshing. It's so refreshing.
And
Especially
again, you
with,
know, for those that are comfortable, right? You know, and for those that are
yeah.
not, you can still schedule a Zoom appointment with us. You know, I think again, the key word is going to be that flexibility, right? So.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Especially with the student orgs too. I know student orgs are also starting to come back and do things in person.
Yes.
So involving with your office will be super exciting. But also kind of piggybacking off that as well, we got a really good flow going here. Our next question is, where is your office located on campus?
Yeah, so we are located in the University Center on the second floor. And so we sort of house two different office spaces. So technically it's 2170 and 2174, depending on like what side of the hallway you come in from. But we are right sort of in the front of the UC. So, you know, the big glass windows, I can see outside from my office. So it's really nice. So we are there, 2170 and 2174 University Center, second floor of the University Center. So right there in the middle of it all.
Well, I was already coming in and planning on studying in the University Center because everyone is saying that's the spot to go. So if you're
Yes.
already there and you want to pop by, you might as well.
Come and say hello.
It's going to be really cool. So for our next question, what are some fun facts about CSJI that students should be aware of when they come to campus this fall?
Well, you get to meet a dynamic team. I think that's a fun fact. So again, we've been in the pandemic, right? So we've only been seeing each other on Zoom. So I think that's going to be exciting to meet my staff in person. They are two dynamic individuals, and they truly want what's best for students. So I think that's going to be exciting. And I think, again, just getting back into the flow, right? So no real fun facts, but you know, just getting back into the groove, seeing students, doing those in-person check-ins that we all miss so much. So I'm looking forward to that.
I feel like that's such like a well shared feeling between all of us, especially because like in education like settings, we're all so used to being like close together and in person. And I know personally, I can't wait to meet all of you. I'm on the board for Pride, so I know we work like kind of hand in hand. So
Absolutely, absolutely. So be thinking about some great programming, run it, you know, send it over to Gigi.
absolutely, yes, for sure.
I know that I'm excited for in-person activities and things like that.
Absolutely. So our next question is kind of more on the side of like a general advice question. So what advice would you give to a new UM Dearborn student?
Pace yourself. I think that's really important. I think sometimes it's kind of like, you know, the old saying, you know, don't go to the grocery store hungry, right? Because you know, you end up buying all this stuff and then you get home and, you know, you order pizza, right? So I would say pace yourself. You know, you've got a good couple of years to kind of get grounded, maybe join one or two student orgs in the beginning, you know, really get a grasp of those. But also I would say use your resources. You know, I can't stress it enough that there's so much support on campus, ready, willing, and able. And we don't know you if you don't reach out, right? Like a lot of the support service, you kind of gotta self-select in, right? So use us, come to us, you know, ask questions, you know, go for the deeper dives and figure it out. You know, we're here to help. We're ready to help. We want to help. And so I think that's pretty critical too. And then, you know, find your community. You know, I think this is a perfect time to find those people who the like-minded, you know, again, build that community and that belonging. This is the time to do it. And you know, get to that happy place, you know. So and do well. You know, we want you to do well. So that's my advice too. Start strong. In the beginning, start strong. But definitely, like I said, I just can't stress the need to tap into the support that's on campus because we're here. We're ready, we're willing, we're able.
When you talked about pacing yourself, I really took that to heart because as I said earlier in the podcast, I transferred here. So like taking that time to like step back and like really think about like what I wanted to do for my life and my career. Um, it's just like pace yourself in like the way of like you don't have to rush to graduate in 4 years. Like enjoy your time here, get involved, tap into the resources that are on campus. Just I'm so excited to be fully immersed in the community and to help other people. So it's yeah, it's just a new student thing, but I'm super excited.
I'm excited for you. And, and I think, it's sort, this is good for me too, hearing your excitement and your energy, right? Like, oh, yep, let's get back to campus. I am ready. And so, I think you're doing something for me as well. So thank you.
No, honestly, thank you for being here today. We're really enjoying. I like the energy that we all have in this Zoom call right now. All right. Sorry about that. We're gonna tap into a more, I guess, like personal question. But is there any fun facts about you that you would like to share for all of us to hear? Maybe me and Kayla can share a fun fact after.
Yeah, so I'm pretty boring. So my fun fact is that I have a younger brother and we are 20 years, 6 months, and 1 day apart. So I think this is why I really relate to college students because he just did his thing in college. And so we just, navigated that whole process. So it did bring me a little closer to the understanding. But yeah, that's my fun fact. 20 years, 6 months, and 1 day.
I would just like to say there's no way that you could be boring. Like your personality is just shining through. There's no way. That's really cool though. My siblings and I are like pretty close. My oldest sibling is only like 5 years older than me, so it's like not that much of a gap, but it's still fun.
Yeah, Vivian, do you want to share a fun fact?
I guess this will be like a nerdy fun fact. So for my friends that did first robotics in high school, because I used to be in engineering before I switched to criminal justice. My robotics team actually won the world championship in 2017, and it was really cool.
That's awesome.
It's Lightning Robotics FRC 862, if you know what that is. But it was really cool. It was a really like big like lifetime achievement moment for me. So I don't talk about it that often because I feel like people are like, oh, that's such like a subtle flex, but
hey,
I enjoyed it.
That is awesome.
It was cool. We like competed in St. Louis, so and we like drove like 10 hours by bus to get there.
Wow.
Yeah, I was sleeping in the aisleway. I could not sit. How about you, Kayla?
Well, yeah, mine's gonna fall a little flat next to yours, but I'm kidding. I'm a musician. I play the French horn. And I think I've played for 8 years. But yeah, it's no robotics world champion, but I'm kind of good. I won't lie.
I'm not instrumentally inclined, so you definitely are way cooler to me.
Oh.
Good stuff. That's exciting. Both of you. Pretty awesome.
Oh, well, we want to thank you so much for being on our podcast today. It was wonderful having you. Your energy is amazing. And thank you for answering all of our questions. Your contact information is on the slide. So if you'd like to reach out to Sharia or the Center for Social Justice and Inclusion, their emails are listed here as well as the website. So if you have any questions, be sure to send them over.
Thank you both for the invitation, and I just can't wait to chat in person. So looking forward to it.
Yes, I'm excited. You'll definitely see me in your office this semester.
Yes.
All right. Well, to round this out, are you guys ready to keep mastering Maize and Blue? Visit uofmdearborn.edu/masteringmaizeandblue for previous and future episodes. Also, you can find us on YouTube through the U of M Dearborn YouTube as well.